I just got a new Dado stack for my table saw, so I need to make a new throat plate to fit it. So what I'll do is just use this scrap of oak, cut it a bit bigger than the original throat plate, and first thing is I'm going to mill this down to 1/2 inch. Next thing I'll do is remove the toggle switch on the back that locks the throat plate in place on the saw, and then clamp it in place. Now I'll trace this out, including these little protrusions, because these also lock the throat plate in place. And because a Dado doesn't need a riving knife, these don't actually need a break. So I'll have this be continuous. Now I'll test fit this. It looks good, so we'll work on this now. So now I'll put the original throat plate back down, get it lined up. I'll mark the hole and mark this lip, mark the depth. Just need to remove this material, put this hole in. I'll start with a tenon saw here, then I'll work around with the chisel. I'll go test fit that. Okay, so that fits well. I'll go add this hole. So this is all set. Last thing I need to do is make this to lock it in place at the front, so that as you turn it, it wedges in place and locks. I don't need to copy this shape exactly, but I just need a block with this ramping protrusion. So with this scrap, I've just traced this basic shape. I'll cut it off about here. I'll leave the rest on just so it's bigger, I have more to grab onto. I'll chisel this into a ramp. There's the hole for a bolt to connect it. I'll take this out now. So I'll use the original to mark a height for the top of the ramp, and then draw on a gradual taper that I will then chisel out. I want to inset 2 nuts on either side so that the screw has something to grab onto. So what I'll do is measure the width across 2 flat parallel sides. So about 7 mil. So I'll drill a 7 mil hole in the piece. That way I can hammer them in. I'll thread this through. I'll thread on a nut to this side right till it's flush. I'll come to a clamp just to support it, and then go through that way. Okay. Drop that through, thread that through. I'll just put some thread locker on there right before I'm finished. Okay, so here we go. This locks, this tucks in under here. That locks it in place. Now the last thing to do is to cut this out. But the first thing I'll do is raise this, put the fence right next to it, and mark it here. When I install this, now I can bring this over here, lock it down so that it definitely can't raise up out while I do this, and I know that the blade's not going to cut into the fence. There you go, custom fit Dado throat piece.